Contrary to popular belief, this is not just rap music. This is life. So I offer you right now, life. Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.
What it is, what it do, what it ain't. Episode 54. We still here unmasked, a.k.a. Cognac Crew. 1/3 of Unmasked, your boy Trez, a.k.a. The Barbarian. What it is what it is. What it do, it's gonna do what it do. What it ain't, this ain't something that you want to miss, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Across me, I got my boy P. What's happening with it, brother?
What up, man? King to a God. You know what I'm saying? We here.
Yeah.
54 like the studio. Spins was calling it 51, but it's 54.
That's
Hey,
back.
You know, Dallas ain't got that.
Back
but
in the 70s, man.
It is what
Just
it
saying,
is.
I had to make
That's
sure
a whole
it's the
new
right
vibe,
number.
man.
Yeah, but we here. King to a God. Spins, what's good?
I'm good. Hey, work like a walk on. That's what we do. Shout out to my boy D Gent. With that being said, guys, definitely
Who the
want
fuck is walking on?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm a
Work-
star,
I'm
baby.
starting.
you work like a walk on.
Shit.
You always work like a walk on. You always underdog.
I mean,
You work like you trying to make it.
I understand what you're saying, but
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm never gonna be the walk
Whatever they taught y'all.
These fucking guys.
monster over here.
Anyways, with that being said, hey, episode 54. Glad to be back. Around you fellas. New episode. A lot of stuff to talk about. One thing, first and foremost, I know this has been an ongoing story, whole lot of like swirl around it. I have to start off, and I gotta go with I gotta talk to you for a second.
Man,
right?
talk to me,
'Cause
baby. What's up with it?
Brian Flores, right?
Hey, glad he out of Miami.
So one of the biggest thing of this show is like, think before you do. So my thing is, he's hired now. He's now a defensive assistant
So
slash really a linebacker coach. We're gonna give him the assistant's title. I guess they want to give him that because what he talked about. I don't know.
I look at it in a lot of different ways.
Tell
bro.
me.
Shout out to Brian Flores. First off, he was a great coach while we had him. I'm glad we don't have him anymore.
You're glad?
Oh, you're glad?
Yeah.
Oh, this is news to me. I need to hear. I gotta
Let
hear.
him keep
I'm
going.
glad we don't have him anymore. But this is really on my boy P and on the real part because Mike Tomlin threw him a lifeline.
Mm.
And Byron
Look.
Leftwich, if you're listening, we'll take
Mike-
you too.
Mike
We're
Tomlin.
not done.
Mike Tomlin threw.
That's a fan talking right
Mike
now.
Tomlin. No, Mike Leftwich is not going over there. But
We'll take him.
Well, he didn't get the
you
Jaguars
need a
job.
quarterback on your team for Leftwich, the coach. So anyway, back to Flores.
I want you to go because I
Back to
got my
Flores.
point. I got my talk on this. So I got
Mike Tomlin gave him a lifeline because I really felt that he was out the league. Now, as far as him being a head coach again, I still truly believe that them days are over. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's not about what he's doing or how he's doing it. It's about the way he went about it.
Mm.
And the thing is, code of honor is big, bro.
Okay.
So things that happen behind closed doors, everything's not supposed to be revealed when you're trying to make a point.
Okay.
And sometimes when you reveal things, you lose your credibility as far as trust within other people. So as far as a trust issue with other organizations, as far as you being ahead and running the team, I don't see them opportunities coming no time soon. And then he's going to the back to the Steelers. Shout out to the Steelers, Peace team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain players on the defense that don't even like him.
It could be.
Minka Fitzpatrick. He's played with the Dolphins. He wanted out because he didn't like the coach.
Okay. He can
could
leave.
be. He could. I'm not no fan.
Fitzpatrick could leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not-
you're a Flores reporter now, huh?
No, what I am is I can acknowledge greatness when I see
Oh,
it.
he's a great defensive
So
coach.
for what he did with y'all, I'll have to consider him great.
He's a great defensive coach.
Now I don't close the door on him getting opportunities because I think that he put the pressure on. Now, yeah, you're right. You have a point. Maybe you shouldn't say things that shouldn't get out there, but somebody had to do it.
It happens in every organization.
But somebody had to be the face.
So hold on. So this is where I got to put my piece in, right? I hate to interrupt, but I got to put my piece in because I've been waiting on this, right? So I'm gonna say I will say somebody had to say it. I've been saying
somebody
that
had to.
I've been saying that from day one, right? Just being not biased to any particular organization. I've been saying that he had to be that. He chose to be that person to step out there.
He's the face.
And so now, to me, okay, do you feel like you taking this assistant position? If you're gonna do that anyway, right? So on your side, why did you go out and step out on the limb?
So,
but then on the second piece, right, and just looking back, right. So now I'm thinking, okay, well now, do you truly believe that you have that capability to be a head coach? Do you feel like you could have waited out? Should you have waited out, or do you feel like you're gonna take this position and still follow that battle, or are you now gonna be quiet?
I feel like the order of the process was done incorrectly.
I respect that. I can see that.
I feel like I'm not mad at Brian Flores for what he did. Like, don't get me twisted. Like, stand up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to stand. You got to make a stance. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much put yourself in the Colin Kaepernick situation right now, though. Taking a stance, like Colin Kaepernick took a stance.
Okay.
When was the last time he played?
But he also got paid.
He got paid. Brian Flores is gonna get a little check, but half of the reason that
from the Steelers, yes,
no, from the NFL. The reason, like, and this is just me personally. This is just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFL is gonna have to end up paying him some type of lawsuit. He's gonna get a check from the NFL, but the bigger picture is he was unemployed, and if you've seen a couple of his interviews, one thing that he ran across multiple interviews is his son kept asking me, "Daddy, when are you going to work again?"
So that may be very well true. My thing is this, right? Do you forfeit whatever you could have? Right? It's almost like
he did.
Think before you do. Well, so then I don't think he gets paid.
He made an emotional decision.
But I don't think. Well, what I'm saying is that I don't think the lawsuit goes through now.
I don't either.
So I don't think that if he really was going to stand out, right? Again, this is kind of like a recurring thing for the show, right? Think before you do. So now, like, you took the position. Yeah, he might have, like Coach Tomlin may have thrown him a lifeline.
He threw him a lifeline.
But now you
got a lifeline. So that lawsuit
what
is
you're talking about is null and void.
Right.
That's
I don't see him being the head coach of the NFL again. Unfortunately.
As with all sports stories like that, any like radical conversation, I believe that that's more to come. But I would say I do believe, this is to me it's a good thing for him, because if he ever wants to get back in the head coach consideration, this is the first he got to take this step.
I don't think so,
but we'll see.
I disagree.
I think we'll see.
Eric Billamy been an assistant coach for the Kansas City Chiefs for like 20 years, and he still ain't getting the consideration.
I think that's more. I will say this. I'm not saying that he won't take a position, because I'm sure he's been offered. I feel like that's more loyalty to Andy Reid, but that's my personal opinion.
We'll see. His contract up this year.
Speaking of think before you do, Juwan Howard.
Fab Five.
I was listening to another radio personality and other like journalists, things like that. And one thing that came about in conversation was he truly ready to be a head coach? Me personally, I would have to say, this is my opinion based on that question. I don't think he was ready. I think he's still in NBA mode.
I'm saying yes.
I don't know. I'm
saying yes.
How much experience is that? When the fuck would you not be ready?
Juwan Howard was ready. And the reason
you think I'm talking about based on how he reacts, his temper, that type of shit.
That don't got nothing
how
to do
he reacted.
With it. That was a different.
So
that was no culture situation.
Hold on. So if you're walking by somebody and they grab you to stop your forward movement, that's on you?
No, that ain't on me.
Okay, so what we talking about the way he reacted?
Okay.
So he spoke. No, hold on. He spoke his piece.
He
said
speak his piece.
Last year, what?
I'll see you about that, or whatever his wording was, his phrasing was, and he was going to keep it moving.
We men before all this shit,
right? We are.
Okay.
So don't fucking grab me.
So okay, but cool, I get it. But how many times have you seen somebody in that same position and they've handled it better? Wrong or right?
You got to know who the fuck you grabbing.
Okay,
Right.
true that. But I'm saying
You better know who you grabbing.
this is not the first time Juwan Howard has acted out. Period. We know
as a
that.
head
Name another
coach?
As a
time.
head fucking coach, this
Name
is
it.
not the first.
Name another
You
time.
ain't seen him on the court multiple fucking times going crazy on the referees. I know these white boys
Bro,
do it
he's
too.
only- he's
but
only-
at the same
That's
token,
a part of the job.
it is. But at the same token, it's been him more times than not.
I'm gonna disagree.
So
Okay, it's okay to
first-
disagree.
we gonna
First and
forget
foremost-
about Bobby Knight.
We're gonna bring this back.
Bobby
all-
Knight is an asshole, and
We're gonna-
everybody across the nation.
We're gonna bring this all the way back. So, Juwan Howard, your initial question was he prepared to be a head coach?
Yeah.
And I'm going to answer that question because I feel like I'm more fit to answer that question than the two of you on this table. Why? Because he was an assistant on Miami Heat for over 10 years. Coaches,
As a player coach. Player coach.
where does it start at? Eric Spoelstra
never
started
said-
out as the cameraman.
I'm not disagreeing. He was a player coach.
Right.
My stance on this is the mentality as an NBA fucking player. You're going into a head coach. Now all of a sudden, are you ready to be a head coach?
Michigan lost 4 games last year.
When
with
had
Juwan
he-
Howard's the head coach.
Okay. Has he ever done any player coach?
He never been no
Going
trouble.
straight to head coach. Was he ready?
Straight
I
to
say
head
no.
coach.
That's my opinion.
Been out the league for like 15 years.
Okay.
10 years.
That's cool. I disagree.
So that's the same. That's like you saying Patrick Ewing is not ready to be a head coach.
Is he?
He's coaching.
Is he
Steve-
a head coach?
Steve,
Yeah, he's a head coach.
Georgetown Hoyts.
Well, okay.
Steve
cool.
Nash is not ready to be a head
Did he
coach.
go straight to head coaching, or did he do?
He did less time than
assistant?
Juwan Howard as assistant. Our player development.
And have we ever seen any type of activity like this?
Two different dudes.
It's two different
All right.
situations.
Okay. Does he bring Michigan a title?
I think he can.
Eventually,
I think he can, but
he's
that
raised-
takes time.
he's
Listen, this
he's
is my
raised
opinion.
he's
Yo, I
raised-
get it. That's all I'm saying.
he's raised their recruiting since he's become the head coach. Their recruiting has increased.
I will say this. I will say this. Everybody has a timetable, right? I will say that he may need. Me personally, I feel like he may need a little bit more time to develop his culture. That may be. You got to think about. We talking about Big Ten,
Well,
right?
this is second year.
Okay, but he may need more time.
That's going to be a
I may agree with you all on that. I just feel like I don't know if he was ready to be a head coach.
I
That's me
definitely-
personally.
So what do you say with Penny Hardaway?
I don't think he's ready to be head coach.
So ain't nobody fucking ready for you then.
No, I don't.
What's the
I don't feel like-
credentials that requires you to
It's
be
not-
a head
I don't
coach?
feel like it's a certain amount of credentials. I do feel like that there is a certain amount of activity that goes in. And when I say activity, I mean that going kind of through like a little bit of a process where there's a lot of assistant coaching, not player coaching or none of that. I'm saying like assistant coach, you have this title, you're doing this, you're doing these direct things, you're doing amount of scouting that, you kind of get into that groove. And then years later, you become a head coach. I'm just a fan of the process. So everybody's process may be different. I just feel like, no, Penny Hardaway is not ready. That's me personally. Same with Juwan Howard. I ain't going against my brothers. I'm just telling you that's how I feel. Ready or not.
What's next?
So is Mike McCarthy ready to be the head coach of the
Nah,
Dallas
man,
Cowboys?
just what's next, man?
Mike McCarthy? Nah, he wasn't. Not for the head coach
Ain't
of the Dallas
nobody ready to
Cowboys.
be a head coach to you. Shit.
Yeah. I agree.
Next topic.
Well, I will say this before we move on. He got the
Jesus.
remainder of the season suspension, right? Which is only like 4 or 5
It's
games.
5
5
games.
games.
5 games.
I think they're gonna ball out.
In his absence, they could rise to the occasion.
The
Because the
main,
assistant coach is better than the head coach.
I didn't say that.
Oh,
the,
okay.
the
I
main
didn't
thing
say that. I just
hope,
said he's not ready.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I just
asked
hope
the
Michigan
question.
doesn't come back and still fire him.
Nah, they're not gonna do that.
I hope not. After the offseason, they may wait to see how they do in the Big Ten tournament. If they make it to the March dance, that's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
If they don't succeed in that and they fail in the NIT tournament, they can use that as leverage. Well, we gave you a chance. You didn't succeed. Now you out. That could be the out. That's
We'll
the only thing. That's the only thing I'm not hoping. Give them another full season.
That'll
I
be a
see.
bad move.
It'd be a terrible move.
Well, again, I stand on what I stand on. So I appreciate you guys for that conversation. Moving forward,
Work
right?
like a walk on.
work. Yeah, work hard. Gotta
work
work
like you
hard.
the starter.
That's all right. You work like a walk on. You work hard.
I'm trying to work like an icon.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Different.
Got to start somewhere, brother. Anyways, I'll say this. Kanye Doc, right? So I had an opportunity to like dive in on this particular documentary. And I am nostalgic for Kanye's college dropout movement and how he started and, you know, how he worked his way into the game. And so the Kanye Doc, dubbed Jeen-Yuhs, which is spelled, you know, based on like how you pronounce the word. I thought this was a great documentary. So just looking at part one, and I have to say, Kanye in general is one of those people that you got to really, regardless of how you feel about him, you got to respect what he's done. Whether you talk about his, you know, introduction into fashion, the wave that he created, the trends he created, or, you know, music in general. I'll say my thoughts immediately were, this guy is truly, now I wouldn't even say genius. I would just say he's completely comfortable in his skin.
Definitely
I'm
that.
gonna say that for a fact. But I mean, I'm gonna run with you with the Jeen-Yuhs word as well. Like, shit's something special. So I'm kind of looking forward to the rest of it. But just to put yourself in the mind frame of when he did it, to have the audacity, like, we're gonna record this.
No, not even that. That was genius in itself, right? But that wasn't genius on his part.
Well, I mean,
that was genius on his man's part. For your man to see
give it
something
up his
in
life?
you,
Yeah, I mean,
to say, I'm going to record you day in and day out.
I'm giving up my life.
That was genius in your man, and it paid off.
It definitely paid off.
Long term, it paid off, but it's also what I saw in it was the belief from a mother in their child.
That's where I was going.
Oh yeah.
When you see how much she poured into him, I ain't sentimental like that, but I am sentimental to see his mom quoting his bars.
I'm real, bro. And that's
bananas.
What that was. That made my eyes water. Like, it brought me back to something like, I remember my mom told me always when I was growing up as a child, like, you just need to have faith of the size of a mustard seed.
Just a little bit.
Just the smallest amount of faith.
Yeah.
And if you believe in that smallest amount of faith, you keep on nourishing it. The way that it grows and nourishes is unbelievable. And even when Kanye was at his lowest, his faith didn't waver. It didn't waver.
Yeah.
But he went home to get that re-up from his mom. And to have your mom as your biggest fan reciting your rhymes, there's nothing better than that. Like that's your biggest supporter. Like that right there, I just feel like that pushed him to the next level. That
even the discipline part that she gave him.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You can fly, but keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah. Keep it
Yeah.
grounded.
No, for real.
Yeah.
And the giant sees no one in the mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
And
These are bars.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody sees the giant, but the giant sees no one.
Why?
No,
You see what I'm saying? So y'all watch the documentary, but there's so many different jewels in there than just watching Kanye West.
That scene, because we're really talking about the same scene right now when he went to his mom's house.
Yeah.
That to me was probably and that first one was the most memorable to me because it touched me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, I'm not a sensitive guy, nothing, but you know what I'm saying? It hit me. Like this shit is
I think
different, bro.
As a fan of Kanye, right? I'm a huge fan of the whole college dropout movement. There's been some questionable music, you know, but you still, again, you can't take away what he brought to the game. One thing I like about the documentary, just starting off, is it forces you to see that, just like you said, he didn't give up faith. You can look at it. It's a scene that they have, basically there's a Def Jam exec.
This man got turned. They showed this man getting turned down.
Not even turned down, but even the rejection.
But they didn't show the rejection.
But my whole thing is,
but you seen the rejection.
Look how nonchalant.
He was like, all right.
Just if you talking about that scene, right? The lady, you could tell as soon as he started rapping and the song that he was playing with All Falls Down. And you could just see, right? You could see, like, there was no interest. It was completely nonchalant.
They kind of laughed at him, you know. He said, Alexis.
It's almost like she was waiting to be saved.
Right.
But literally, if you look at the entire scene, right, he walks out, he's unfazed. He might be somewhat disappointed overall in his stance, but he's not leaving. He's not going to stop. It's going to continue. And eventually.
He went to the next office.
Yeah, you keep going.
The thing is, when you look at how many people missed the blessing, right?
Scarface.
Or opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Raucus lost.
He gave Scarface 2 offers.
Face lost.
Yeah. Face, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, while you watching this, that had opportunities that overlooked it. So it goes back to your man that, like you said, that gave up his career as a comedian.
Oh yeah,
to film his life. He saw something in this dude.
Yeah, I agree.
This documentary, it brings a lot more to the. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you good.
It brings a lot more to the forefront because I remember back in the day before the documentary ever came out. We heard the he say she say with Rockefeller breaking up. Rockefeller breaking up that Kanye wanted to go with Jay, whatever. But at the end of the day, it was really Dame that believed in Kanye. If you start watching this,
so yeah, I'm glad you said
Dame was the one that pushed. We're gonna see it later on. Dame was the one that pushed it, but he went with Jay-Z because Jay-Z was the hotter name.
I will say this. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna tell you why I'm glad you said that. Because one thing about documentaries, right, and the reason why I'm glad us, as a whole, we try to stay in tune with them. This is the reason why I like this, because it forces you to do two things. Number one, it forces you, to see, because think about it like this. We all grew up hip-hop fans. And if people really honest, hip-hop kind of is a trendsetter for a lot of the trends that you see now, in the past, or whatever. So what it does is it brings up topics, these bloggers, these journalists, what have you. They bring up a lot of things that come out of this documentary, and it forces these people these big names to come out and say or respond to what is being shown on the documentary. And then secondly, just to your point, I think it shows, well, now these people not only have to respond, but you have to consider everybody that now is going to have something that's following that same trend.
Right.
A lot of people now, they might have their own thing coming out. So it forces the people that do these documentaries or like people that follow these artists to now, okay, Kanye put his shit out, so let's keep it going.
I think this.
So I think it's like one of those.
I think it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. But it's kind of. And I know it ain't going to tie together all the loose ends of the misunderstandings of Kanye, but the fact that he was able to record this shit, not knowing what the future was going to present or come to, it was genius.
It is genius.
It was genius because the documentary don't lie. You could tell when you watch it. This is old ass footage.
It is.
Yeah. This shit is old.
Before he had the name, before he had the fame.
This shit is old. Like this shit is
agreed
VHS type shit we watching right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, shout out to the cameraman for seeing the vision.
Great.
I'll give I point to Ye's genius as far as being willing to be vulnerable.
He showed everything, bro. So
you know what I'm saying? To in that moment.
So far.
To be vulnerable in that moment.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes, because when you're trying to get into that game, and he mentioned that as well, he's not gonna be rapping about talking about shooting and killing nobody, because that's not how he was raised. But to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to be vulnerable in that, to show how you feel when your homeboys you was just sitting at the table with, dish you hours later.
Hours later when you're on the radio.
Man.
Just got done having Heineken with the boys.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That was crazy. I saw that part was crazy.
To be vulnerable enough to show how the radio station at home still don't really believe at you, because they was trying to cut his time off.
It was.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff in here that this. When you look at the early part, and we still got parts to go through, he can be who he is.
Yeah, and I'm excited.
A lot of shit is starting to add up to. It's almost like you're starting to understand the making of Kanye. I think we see.
I think that was helpful. I think it was needed. I think it was necessary, and I think he did the right thing.
It was genius.
Him and his videographer, I think they did the right thing by releasing it right now.
Yeah, shout out to Ye, man. Let's get to this dark shit and get out of here.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Slim Cutter.
I will say, we always look at these stories, right? And so well, for me, I saw a couple things that just really disturbed me. The biggest thing for these two topics mainly is just, again, the theme is think before you do, right? The strangest piece of this next story, basically, you know, we saw that in a parking lot in Maryland, there was a makeshift like morgue-like setup in a parking lot where it was roughly about 200 dead bodies found.
Parking garage.
Parking garage.
Mhm. And
this was, essentially explained by the chief medical examiner in Baltimore. And there no autopsies have been performed on these bodies. The explanation was that it was done, you know, because of backlog, which can be a number of things, right? We talk about, you know, just if you can go back a second, you know, what you reported when you talked about like the refrigerators, the big trucks.
How they have bodies in refrigerator trucks in New York.
I think what's disturbing with this is that it was more or less that story came about because of COVID and the rising numbers, for the most part. This is just everyday activity. Don't get me wrong.
So they say.
COVID is still a part of this.
Still a part of everyday activity to me, though.
But they also say, hey, this is due to, you know, drug-related deaths, also due to, COVID, but mostly, like, in addition to that, right? It's just not COVID. You got the drug-related,
but the drug-related
murders.
But where I say COVID is
drug-related could be an allergic reaction to COVID.
You still have that part of it. You see what I'm saying?
The COVID piece.
Motherfuckers out here is depressed and stressed, man.
No, that's true.
And sometimes they run into drugs to get away from what they got to deal with.
Take away from the
you see what I'm saying? COVID brought that on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The violence is always there, but there's probably a spike
because of COVID.
Okay. I get it.
It's all there, but the fact that they was paying $30,000 a month for this damn garage. They're paying $30,000 a month to have this parking garage.
So, yeah, that's an alarming number.
You know what I'm saying? And you got FEMA.
Knowing what was there.
Well, I mean, that's why they was paying it.
Right.
They paid it for that specific purpose to put the bodies there. So you didn't have nobody parking in there. That was specific for them. And then now you got they shorthanded.
Right.
Now you got FEMA loaning out.
Right. So they getting
toxicologists.
Money. Yeah.
You got them trying to hire toxicologists.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a minute.
And I honestly, you know, and this is something I was thinking about, like looking at this story, right? And my biggest thing is, so two things. One, I feel like it's a lowball number. That's number one. I don't think. I think that 200 was just like
probably
one of those generic numbers. And they're saying that they say it might end up being 300, but I think it's really close to like 4 or 5, maybe, or even more. We just never know. And then the second piece is, if it's happening here, right? Could it be happening elsewhere? We just don't know. That story hasn't broken.
Happening elsewhere. Definitely.
That's a real disturbing piece to know that that's actually happening. Because also think about the outcome, right? The loved ones, right? So,
well, that's my beef. You're not gonna have my family member posted up in the garage for so long, not to the point of decay. Nigga.
What they're saying is that these bodies are decaying right in front of everybody.
If they posted up like that, that means the people probably ain't got the money to afford a funeral.
Nigga, I'll build a box.
But you're not just gonna let my people rot today.
Yeah, they not sitting in a garage.
You have to pay something.
Pay what? They dead.
Right. You still.
I don't need to know what happened. They're gone.
You need to pay to get them. You need to pay to get
them.
I
didn't ask you to take them.
Who got them?
Very true. It's got a good plan.
Because
Trez,
if somebody dead in your house, you ain't calling nobody to come pick them up.
No, what I'm saying is,
but
I'm calling you to let you know, right?
If somebody died in your house, not to come get them.
I'm letting you know.
Not to come get them?
Hey, listen, if you tell me you 200 behind, go ahead and leave them here, dog.
Man, stop that. Stop. Hey, man.
I got it.
I need emergency. I need somebody to come get this body, man.
What I will say, I agree with the emergency piece. I disagree with you when I say they can come get them. Because if I know this shit, I'm going to find another way.
All right, maybe
I'll say that.
You're jumping out the window.
I might find another way.
You're not going to tell me you back 200.
Right.
I got to wait till.
And that's not even a real number, man.
I agree with that part, too.
Give me the body back.
Right.
I already built the box. Give me the body back.
Give me something else. Give me another option. No, I feel you. that's a disturbing story. I will say. Hopefully,
that's
Maryland gets
serious. Bro.
I'm sure it is, and because that's the other piece. You not to
They
get
probably
into
just think
detail.
it's crab cakes.
Ain't no crab cakes smell. If
'Cause
crab cakes
it's
smell like that, I'm not
Maryland,
eating crabs
crab
no more.
cakes.
You
No,
better
I get it.
you
I
better
knew
stop.
that's
You better stop
Oh,
that.
man.
fucking
No,
God,
no.
man.
Follow me.
Don't put that on no crabs, man. Stop that. Ain't no damn crab smell like
Just
that
saying,
shit.
follow me,
No,
man.
I'm not following you on that shit.
Leave it to P.
All right, let's go to the dark.
Hey, so
This guy
Right.
here.
um,
Crab cakes.
in other stories, right? So second story I saw was very disturbing, and I got you guys like we started kind of swirling, talking about it a little bit. So this teacher, right? Louisiana, Cynthia Perkins is her name. And I have to say her name because she's this fucking lady. Her and her husband,
Say his name too.
former
Shit.
sheriff.
Well,
he was already charged.
You can go with your thought because in Louisiana, that's how they operate.
Oh, so it's a cop.
Yeah.
Cop shit. I mean, so his official title is sheriff. Fuck him.
He was
But
on the SWAT team.
He was on the SWAT
Yeah, that's what
officer.
it
He was a
was.
SWAT officer, charged with dozens of sex crimes against kids. There was claims from her that she was manipulated into committing these crimes with her husband.
I bet
She is
was.
currently awaiting sentencing, and from
No, she's sentenced. She got 41
41
years.
got 41 years.
She got
Yeah.
41.
Okay, so that's
40 years
official.
without
So
parole
that was her deal. Her deal
Yeah.
was 41.
for snitching on her
Right.
husband.
That was
No,
the deal.
well, testifying against him,
That
not
was the deal.
snitching.
You might as well just shut your mouth because
Yeah.
shit, you gonna be dead by the time you get out
Looking
anyway.
at and his
75.
and he
Like I said, you're gonna be dead.
Yeah.
So the most I mean, first of all, child pornography,
The whole shit's
having nude pictures taken with children,
With
as
children?
a couple. So that shit is sick, right? But then the most disturbing piece, right? It's like, are you kidding me? You saw they had a story where basically her as a teacher, she went to work with cupcakes, but they were laced with her husband's semen. And I'm sitting there like,
They
are you
got
fucking serious?
They got pictures of the kids eating.
Now I
that
know
shit.
this is
Yeah.
old, but
This was back in 2019. She just
Mhm.
got sentenced a couple of days ago. Her husband
Yep.
trial is in May.
it's just crazy shit.
That's
It's just
just
some shit that makes you want to damn near.
yo-
I need my kids home.
yeah. I wonder why I'm so fucking funny when I eat. But still, yeah, this shit's disgusting. But I don't even think that's the worst. I think they had a case that they had was it a rape case or something with a 9 or 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they
the
took pictures
rape.
and took
pictures?
a bath
Yeah,
and
like that, come on, bro.
yeah. But
What are we
what's I'm afraid of now is that they're saying that a lot of evidence is missing now.
All of a sudden,
Mhm.
All of a sudden, when it comes to his case.
of course,
But
it's
he-
SWATs.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna. I don't feel like he escapes that. It might prolong.
If she
it,
got
but I feel
41,
like
he getting at least 41.
he got to get more.
At least he's getting at least 41.
Because if her claims are true, which let's talk about that for a second. Because really, manipulation, right? To do that shit, I'm not buying it. I refuse to buy that bullshit. Because she's a teacher. That was her profession before this, right?
You could have threw them
you're
motherfucking
teaching-
cupcakes out the window on the way to school.
Exactly. And bought a new set.
Right. And I
Doing it
did
right. That's something you can control. All of it you can control, but that for sure. You
That
know what I
for
mean?
fact.
Just listening to that.
You
story.
took pictures of this shit happening.
That's the most disturbing. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
They had
these saying
cameras in the
manipulation,
bathroom, cameras in the attic,
Right.
like throughout the house.
that was set up. That's a normal process for you. That's
Yeah.
something that
This is-
nobody manipulates.
This is
you
what y'all
like that.
do. This is what y'all do for a living.
I understand.
This y'all weekend get off.
Be careful. Please be careful, folks. Know your kids' teachers. I don't know if there's any real message behind that piece, but just be careful. It's a sick ass world.
Shit's
so,
disgusting. That's what it is. That's the
Shit's
message.
terrible. Yeah, truly. But yeah, hey, fuck them. I hope they rot in jail. All of that shit. From what I understand, they already like 36, 40, something like that. I think she's 36, he's 44. So, fuck y'all. I hope you rot in jail. Hope they throw y'all under the jail. What I would like to, before we conclude, guys, March is coming up, so we have always talked about mental health. The good thing is, this is National Women's Month, so we get a chance to celebrate some women that are stepping out there doing their entrepreneurship, making sure that they bringing things to the community. One thing that we have discussed, and Trez, you brought this to our attention, just that rise in suicide for our black men. I want to discuss that just briefly, just because I know that that's something that, is very, very serious and dear to our heart. Just because we are black men, but also just that rise and that number, we want to bring some facts, some true, some stories, some things behind that to kind of validate what we're talking about. We've been instrumental in talking about mental health. So I'll be, happy to see, a couple of our guests kind of speak to that, and we'll be bringing that to you all. Trez, I know you brought that to our attention. I didn't know if you had anything you want to add to that, but that's a hell of a topic, and I think that's something that we definitely need to.
Yeah, I mean, when we officially cover the topic, I got a lot to say on it, but whenever that time comes, I'll be speaking a lot about that.
Well, definitely want to have that this month. We're definitely working on that. We want to bring that to you all. P, anything else you want to add to that, man?
Nah, just I glanced at the numbers. Trying to get ready for it. Again,
it's
the numbers are crazy.
It's smooth. Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's I can't even find a word for it, bro. It's wow.
We'll celebrate the month of March with women, bringing women in here to celebrate them. That bring value. You know what I mean? Because that's what we about, bringing value. We clown, we joke, but we still want to bring value at the same time.
Absolutely.
So we'll get some women in here to do that.
We'll be touching on this one though.
And this one we're gonna have some certified people in here with this.
Facts. Yes.
Yeah. And then we'll go from there, because I'm sure a lot of us have questions.
Yeah.
And concerns. Hey.
And then also, that's just real quick, that's on that topic.
Right.
But we do have all the stuff that we bring to the table, all the things that we do discuss. We'll have, some certified women in their own profession, kind of, bringing that to you guys.
Most definitely.
But hey, more to come. As always, fellas, this was an amazing episode. Any last thoughts for the people?
I got a couple, man. Shout out to all Aquarius. It ain't Aquarius season no more, man, but it was great.
Happy belated, brother.
Hey, man.
Happy belated, brother. Birthday, brother.
I don't even need all that. Just shout out to all Aquarius. I appreciate it, my family. Shout out to all Aquarius, man. Great year. I also want to shout out, I don't know, this is live, right?
Yeah, it's live.
It's live.
So what's this? 22. Yeah. We ain't gonna double up like this again for 11 more years, y'all. So this is a special day. Y'all need to manifest what y'all want in life. And believe in that shit, because
like that
shit's gonna believe it. It just takes the faith of a mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? But this is a special day. Capitalize on it.
Like how you brought that full circle. Yeah.
We out.
Hey, until next time. When y'all join us for episode 55, we will be bringing you many more stories, everything that we set out to do. And so with that being said, fellas, great episode. To the left of me, my man.
Trez the Barbarian.
And to the right,
hey,
D Spins. Till next time, we out on UnMask'D Podcast.
Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.